This is part 26 of my series of K-12 employees who have been arrested for crimes against children. If you have missed parts 1 through 25, but you would like to see them, you can do that by clicking on the playlist. Today, I'm talking about Tim Ballard. Tim Ballard was a principal and boys basketball coach at Abundant Life School, which is a private school in Sherwood that's associated with Sylvan Hills First Baptist Church. Sometime between the very end of February and March 1st, police in Sherwood received a tip from an anonymous caller alleging that Tim Ballard had relationships with multiple female students at Abundant Life School. When police spoke with the superintendent of the school, Russell Udy, and the pastor of the church associated with the school, Keith Brickle, they learned that Keith Brickle found out about an email on February 24th that had been received 3 days prior by Russell Udy. That was from a former student who alleged that she had been subject to an inappropriate relationship by Tim Ballard during her time at Abundant Life School. According to the student, inappropriate contact started when she was in the 8th grade. According to the student, it began in the 8th grade as inappropriate touching and kissing and progressed all the way to her senior year where there was sexual contact. At some point, a second victim did come forward. Tim Ballard was charged with 1 count of SA first degree and 4 counts of SA second degree. He was arrested and released on a $50,000 bond. In 2011, Tim Ballard entered a negotiated guilty plea according to Court Connect. Tim Ballard pled guilty to all 5 charges and received 2 months in county jail and 5 years probation. He also was ordered to register as a sex offender, and on the sex offender registry, he is a level 3, which means that he is at high risk of reoffending. Russell Udy, who no longer works at the school, was charged with failure to report and was sentenced to 1 year probation. I don't know what Keith Brickle knew or when he knew it. According to news reports, he admitted to knowing that an email had been received. So he found out about that email on February 24th, but it doesn't look like he called police. Keith Brickle is still a pastor at Sylvan Hills First Baptist Church. These who have been arrested.
I'm stitching this with Harry because
she does bring up an interesting point in that video, and I'm going to talk about it right now. Okay, there is no doubting it at this point. If you've seen any of the videos that me and other content creators have gone through and done, we've compared these features, and they're very, very, very close. It's hard to tell if these are the same person or if they're different people. That's just our suspicion. Now, supposedly, these 2 people are the same people. I don't know. They don't look... I mean, they do, I guess. I guess they could pass. But then you can take an angle like this and still see some similarities, and their ears are pretty close, too. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to tell. So it's hard to tell if that arrest photo, the one that we're comparing the frontal face feature to know if that's him and it's a fake arrest photo because he was undercover. It's hard to say that's the case. Because I'm getting a lot of comments that are basically saying that are saying that, oh, no, it's because he was undercover. That's why they have this arrest record. Then it's him. Then it's the same person. See what I'm saying? And if it's not him, and we've had a mistake this whole time, well, then I still don't trust that guy, Tim Ballard, from our rescue. I still don't. I'm sorry. I don't trust this bullshit spoon-fed, we're rescuing kids. I'm not buying it. I had more faith in him when I heard about him 2-3 years ago. Seriously. The fact that it wasn't being put out everywhere tells me that maybe he was doing good, but the fact that now that it's out everywhere and he's using it to approaching Trump and saying we need a track and trace program, and Trump's talking about chipping people and stuff, this is where it's going, guys. And this is why I am against this whole thing, okay? Because again, I'm right on this. This video is meant to rally you up so they can emotionally control you, so they can... It's Hegelian dialect from day one, and it has been. I'm not trying to discredit anybody who's gone out rescuing kids, and I'm totally against trafficking, you fucking idiots. That's, that reason why I had to turn off comments, because a bunch of stupid fucking comments from people. I just didn't have time to even comment back. Most of them, I just delete them. I don't even care. And most of these troll comments are from troll accounts with no profile picture, you know. So I just turned off comments on that video this morning. And we are in the age of deception, and everybody seems to think that, you know, they can trust what they're being told, even on TV, even after they say they can't trust what they're being told on TV. Like, you watch the news and go, oh, that's all full of shit. And then it comes out in the news, this guy's rescuing children. You go, oh, yep, good for him. He's a good person. Like, do you really believe that? And either way, this guy Tim Ballard has been somewhat of a celebrity the last couple of years. So if you truly believe this guy is still going out undercover and rescuing kids while being a celebrity in the United States, those two things can't be true. So there's three options with this. Either that's him in the arrest photo and he actually is a pedophile. Two, he did that because he was undercover. Or three, that's not him and he never went undercover. Which one is it?
So I punched in the keywords, which is what people should be doing. Most people don't. And you can shuffle through a whole bunch of shit. But if you look at this here, this is where I finally found it through superficial Google searches. I had to use the name Tim Ballard and the K12 Crimes Part 26. If you plug that jazz into Google otherwise without Tim Ballard in there, it doesn't yield results, and it's very fucking trying. And TikTok wasn't much better, to be honest. Like I said, I clicked on this and I went to TikTok from here.
He was just like, I got girls.
And still, you gotta fucking find it and click on it because it's a shit show by design. It's good to be skeptical. Here's what they had to say. Just another angle. Regardless, if I'm not mistaken, the way our masters work, everybody who's paid for a ticket to Sound of Freedom, they are financing human trafficking. I guarantee it. And the puppets in the movie, I mean, they work for our masters, do they not? Originally, this film was going to be financed by Disney. That's very telling. Very fucking telling. And most people will say, well, but it wasn't. It wasn't. It's going to be on this angel thing and blah, blah, blah. Okay, sure. I remember a long time ago, I went to a interview at AOL. And one of the first things they do is they tell you, we own all these other companies, but you're not allowed to tell anybody. You're not allowed to tell anybody about that. That's how things work. How many, I almost said how many Comcast providers are there out there? How many internet providers do you know of out there? Are there a whole bunch? How many options do you really have? And you hear people talk about this every now and again. Now, you've really only got 3 or 6 options, or in some cases 2, and they're typically owned by the same fucking bastards. And they're competing against themselves. This is how shit works. This is no different than what people talk about with the quote-unquote Rothschilds and Rockefellers financing both sides of the war, because that's how shit works. So why would it be any different with a Hollywood production? Perhaps this superficial Google search is a little different than the others for some reason. I mean, if you look at it, the sigils down there are different than the others. All I did was click on an image again. You're like, no, it's going to drag me to the bottom because, or to the top, pardon me, I'm frustrated. I'm like, fucking horse shit. Well, let's see if I can fucking find it again. No, they just booted it. Give me another second. Let's try this again. So here's the result here. It says 35 seconds. It should be a fucking video. But when you pull it up and you click on it, it doesn't take you anywhere, and all you can do is bookmark it or, you know, use the share thing, which is interesting. It is interesting. It's the dirty white boy guy, the other guy mentioned, probably 2 clips back, even though I'm going to splice these together seamlessly. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to find this asshole's channel and find the video in question, even though this should have linked to it, like all the other stuff does, typically speaking, if it's socially acceptable.
maintain our security, we get arrested with the rest of the actual bad guys.
So everybody knows who Tim Ballard is with our rescue, okay? The mugshot is of a guy named Tim Ballard. But this mugshot, because he got arrested for child prawn. Okay, do you get what I'm trying to say here? A registered sex offender. Okay, with the same exact name that looks exactly the same. Now you just ask yourself, like, what are the odds of that?
Essentially the same thing
For
you
the
just
children,
said.
as you're doing this operation, they think that you're the bad guys.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's one of the most difficult parts of the job, because to maintain our security, we get arrested with the rest of the actual bad guys. So everybody knows who Tim.
Here's some other, you could think of it as keywords, other results. Same shit for the most part. Tim Ray Ballard from Arkansas. More information at least. It's him. I'll click on that in a second, but it's tricky with these because I may lose the where I'm at. That's what I'm getting at, because Google's a piece of shit. But look here, there's a little arrow, and it does take me to TikTok.
God only knows what you've been through.
Well, I don't really want to hear that.
What they say about you. God only knows how it's killing you.
The song's fucking killing me.
God only knows. God only knows what you've been through.
Thank God that was short. Alright. That's still playing.
Here, Tim Ballard from Operation Underground Railroad is not this guy. That's Timothy Ray Ballard. And for one, they don't even look the same. Let me show you another picture. You think that looks like Tim Ballard?
It does look different.
Let me show you more. Besides the fact that they don't even live in the same state, this was in 2010.
That doesn't matter.
Tim Ballard was working for the Department of Homeland Security in 2010. Somebody is actively trying to take them down, I'm telling you.
Well, they're a bunch of pieces of shit regardless.
And you come back with nothing. What you did was you wanted to destroy their reputation, just say it. This guy right here, Tim.
Uh-oh. Is this the best he's got? Okay. Well, maybe there's a little more. I hate these narcissistic fucking reaction videos. Irony, right? Since I'm barking at this thing.
Have included child sacrifice. This guy right here,
I can't let you get away with this. Okay, so the guy that was arrested, Tim Ballard, was a basketball coach that was arrested. Not the same guy. It doesn't take much to Google it and figure it out. Why are you trying to discredit someone that has done so much to bring awareness to the atrocities that are happening to kids? Why? It makes me question your motive, sir.
Do appreciate that last gal. Really sums up quite a few people out there who are on the awareness wagon. They're not seeking to prevent this in the future. They're not trying to figure out how to do a goddamn thing to stop it. But they sure are aware. Just the same. Yeah. It doesn't look like the school teacher's the same guy. Doesn't. But the guy in question related to or associated with the sound of quote-unquote freedom is a piece of shit who works for our masters. That much is true. And you could prove that to yourself if you're willing to put in the time. But people just want to believe a fucking fairy tale. It's terrifying. Really, I think they just want to pat each other on the back and pretend that they're great people for going to see this movie. Despite the fact that this shit's been carrying on since ancient Egypt and no one's done a fucking thing to stop it. So maybe this is a good time to think of that awareness wagon again. But what the fuck do I know?
So I want to talk about the post I did about drag queens dancing for small children, and I want to address some of my critics, who some are infuriated and they can't believe I said this. I can't believe you didn't read what I wrote, because you like to put words in my mouth I didn't say. This is about children, okay? Adults can do what they want. They can dance all day long. I'll fight for your right to be able to express yourself any way you want. This is about sexualizing children. I know the dangers that will come to children if they are over-sexualized. And it's bad. It leads them to a more vulnerable place where they can be taken advantage of. So it comes in lots of forms. The sex education programs are very frightening. I'll be talking about those as well. Now, you think that I'm just focusing now all of our anti-trafficking and child exploitation efforts on drag queens? Absolutely not. The vast majority of people we take down are white, heterosexual, male, conservative, democratic, whatever. Like, we don't care. We go where kids are getting hurt, period. And by the way, I have arrested people of all religions. I have arrested 2 Mormon congregants in the same congregation where I worship, okay? I have arrested a Catholic priest, monk, that was abusing children. And I was happy to do all of that. Okay, I don't protect anyone. In fact, if you're using the cloak of religion to hurt kids, you're even a bigger danger as far as I'm concerned. So we go after anyone who's hurting kids, and I will always identify a threat to children if I find it, notwithstanding your opinions on who should be protected and who should get certain exemptions to be predatory to kids. Why would you give that exemption to anybody?